Welcome all. In this tutorial, we'll understand the input tag and its attributes. Okay. So, we'll open the same file or the same program or the same code which we were using in the previous session. I'll go and I'll say open with Notepad. Okay. So, this is the program which we were typing. I've returned the structure of HTML and you can see the HTML structure begins with doctype HTML. This notation is required to mention that we are using HTML version 5. Okay, rest all I hope you have understood. So I've used h1 tag and placed a text here, data entry forms, closed h1 tag. Let us see what is the output. I am saving it as forms.html, and to see the output I am double clicking on it and I can see the output data entry forms. It is displayed in the largest size of heading. I'll go back to and click on the notepad. I'll continue here the program here. So every tutorial will be continued in this same program. I'll create a pad tag called as form with its closing form tag, and all my other controls will be created between the form and the form close. Now here I will use a p tag and I'll tell the user to enter his or her name. So I'll use the p tag and I'll close the p tag, save. Whatever changes I do each time, I will save and I will refresh the browser. So when I refresh the browser, you can see the text called as enter your name is displayed below data entry forms, because h1 is a block level tag and it takes the entire width of the page. Same with the p tag, which you will understand later. Okay. So what I will do is, where will the user enter the name? So to accept a text from the user, I need to create a text control or an input text box. And to create an input text box, I need to use a singular tag called as input. Input tag is a singular tag. So all the singular tags should be closed in this manner. Okay, I hope you are understanding, but here I have to mention which type of input control. So where will the user enter his or her name? In a text box. So which type of input control I have to create? I have to create a text box. For that I have to use the type attribute, my first attribute in the input tag, compulsory attribute called as type. And the value for type should be text text. Okay, so I'll put it in the inverted comma and I'll say save, Control S, and refresh the browser. You can see the text box is displayed below. Now why it is displayed below? As I said, the h1 tag and p tag, both of them are block level tags and they consume the complete width of your browser window. So I don't want the text box below. So I will not close the p tag there, I'll close it here. Now you can see I'll save and I'll refresh and the text box gets displayed next to enter your form. Enter your name. I'm sorry. The next attribute inside the input tag is every control or any form what you create, you should identify that form or that control, and identification is done using the name attribute. So input tag will also have a name attribute, but we forgot to give a name to the form tag. So I will go to the form tag and use its first attribute called as name. So I'm calling the form by a name. Now what name I should give? To give a name to the form, I am going to follow some prefix. Not only form, every control I am going to follow some prefix. Okay. So what kind of prefix? Like a form I'll say FRM, a text box I'll say TXT, a radio button RDB, checkbox CHK, and so on. And now you'll understand when I'm doing it. So here FRM is the prefix for form. So what is this form? Okay, this is a data entry form. So I'll write here data entry. You have seen the name which I have created. You can see that I am following a camel case naming convention which has 3 words. Here the first word is FRM, where all the letters are small letters. Then data, where the first letter is capital then small. Then entry, where the first letter is capital again then small. This is how the camel case notation is followed. and there should not be any spaces between the words. And the name given to any form or any input control should be a meaningful name. Why? Because we are going to use this name or access this name in the processing page. That is, we are going to access this form by this name either in a JavaScript file or a server-side file or a PHP file or any .NET file. I hope you are understanding. I'll go further. I'll name the text box by using the same camel case notation. So here I'll say for a text box, my prefix will be txt. What is this text box used for? It is used to enter the name. So I am going to give the name user name. You can give any other name. I prefer using this format. The next attribute is ID. What is ID? ID means identification. Again, ID is a unique identification, and in any control, the name and the ID should be same. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. I hope you are understanding. I'll save and refresh again. You will see no difference. Okay. Name, the difference will be only in the processing page, not here. Okay. That I'll show you at the end of this session. I'll move to the next attribute called as value. Now what is value? Value indicates default value. That means whatever is displayed in a text box. See, whatever is displayed here, this is called as value. Okay. Now what I'm doing, I'm writing value is equal to inverted comma open, inverted comma close, control S and refresh. Can you see? Nothing is displayed because in my case, I have not written anything between value. So it is left empty. If we put inverted comma open and close, nothing will be displayed in value. But you can always write whatever you want. The user can always enter whatever the user wants here, and this manner the user can type how many characters? Total 255 characters in this particular text box. Okay. Next attribute is placeholder. Now what is placeholder? Last class or the last session we were stuck up here. Placeholder is just an information for the user what to enter. That is, you are telling the user what should the user enter in the text box. That information can be any long. It can be written over here. I will write enter your full name. I am telling the user enter your full name. So I'll save and I will refresh. Okay. Can you see? It is telling enter your full name. So that means I should enter my full name in this text box. Okay. I hope you are understanding. I will go for the next attribute. The next attribute is max length. That is, how many characters will we allow the user to enter in the text box? That we can decide. The programmer can decide. I will say only 13. And I'll save. And again, I will refresh. And now, see, I'm writing my name. And I'm not able to type anything further because only 13 characters are allowed here. Can you see? Did you observe the size of the text box? It is small. That is, this size of the text box is called as, this is only 20 pixels. The size or the width of the text box is 20 pixels and we can change it by using the next attribute called as size. So I'll put size is equal to 30, control S, and now you observe the text box size has increased. Okay, again I'll write my name here. But see, I'm not able to type further. Even if the size has increased, the max length we have set to 13. So only 13 characters are allowed here. And the last attribute in the input tag called as disabled. If I write disabled, see what happens. I am refreshing. You'll observe I am not able to click inside the text box and write anything. This attribute, either you can put no value or you can write disabled is equal to disabled. It is one and the same. You'll observe, refresh and observe, we are not able to click on the text box or write anything. So I will remove the disabled attribute, otherwise I'll not be able to write anything. I hope you have understood the input control with the text attribute. Okay, type is equal to text, type attribute with the text value. Now you have seen h1 tag and p tag, they both the tags are block level tags and they consume the complete width but not the input tag. So after the input tag we should always give a break. Break is again a singular tag. So if we want to move to the next line, we should give a break. Right now we have closed a p here, so a break will come, but still I am giving a break here. Now I want the user to enter the password. So what will I do? I'll again type and say p tag. I'll say enter your password. Now where will the user enter the password? So I have to make a provision for the user to enter the password. And for that I'll again need a input tag. Input tag with which attribute? Type attribute, and its value should be type is equal to password. And what? Name. I'll go fast because I hope you have understood. Now the prefix for password for my case will be pwd, and I'll say pwd password, user password, user. I'm only using this much as the name. Next I'll put id is equal to again pwd user. Name and id should be same. Okay, this much I'll write. I'll say save and refresh. Can you see a password element is created? Here I can write my name and here I can type my password, and the password will be displayed either in asterisk or in the form of disk. Correct? You can use all these attributes. I will write here value is equal to, now if I write here value is equal to something, say cat, see my password will be displayed. Now should the password be displayed? It is wrong. You should never disclose your password. So I'll go back and I'll remove the value. Next attribute will be placeholder is equal to, you can say enter again a strong message for the user. So I'll say enter a strong password. Okay. Max length, you can decide how many characters. I will allow password only 15 characters. Size of the password box, I will make it as 25. Control S. And I will refresh. Okay. Can you see? We can enter our name here. We can enter a password here. Right? But only 15 characters. Correct? So I hope you have understood till here. My next video, I'll continue with the remaining. For today, only this much. My next video, I'll continue with the remaining tags. Okay. Thank you.